Well, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lisa, better known as Yo Yarn Girl, and I'd like to welcome my returning viewers to my channel and anyone who is stopping by for the first time. Welcome. So glad you're here and that you found me. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to my channel for future content. Today I'm going to be talking about two finished objects, and I will also be sharing some of my WIPS and plans, and then I also wanted to share some additional vests that you can knit. Today is episode 18. Wow, episode 18. We also finished up the knit along that we had going for the Just Love Socks by Knitting I Love, Barbara Noelko. And I have two winners, one from Instagram and one from the finished object thread over on Ravelry. So I will be announcing those winners. The Instagram winner will win a pattern of their choice from Knitting I Love. Barbara Noelko has offered up two patterns for the cowl. So you will be winning a pattern, and then over on Ravelry you will be winning a skein of yarn. So without further ado, we will get into my finished objects. All the places that you can find me will be linked below. I have an email, I have obviously Instagram, I have a Facebook page, and then here on YouTube, and anything else, my Shopify shop, all that will be linked below. So just look below for all of those links. So the first finished object I have is actually a very old WIP that I've had on the needles for, it's probably been about a year, maybe a little bit. It's been more than a year, actually, year and a half. And I was so close to being done, and I finished them yesterday and took them off the needles. So super excited. It's just a pair of DK socks. And these are out of, I'll have to link the yarn below because it's been on the needles for so long that I threw away the ball band, but I do have it written down. So, and the green, the heel, and this little pop at the top, that is a Knitty McPurley DK weight yarn. And then I want to say it's Pumpkin and Wools is the yarn, and this is like a peppermint mocha is the color way for that one. But it's just some shorty socks, vanilla, nothing fancy. And I did knit these two at a time. So this was my first attempt with two at a time socks. I liked it, but obviously you're knitting two at a time, so it takes up a little bit more time to do it. But I did like, once I was done, I was done. So that was nice. But these have a really nice fit. They're super comfy. I might give them to my daughter because she's been asking for a pair of socks, and every pair that I've taken off the needles recently, she's, she'll say, "Are those for me?" And I'm like, "Nope, they're for me." So maybe these will go to her. We'll see. More to come on that. But this is my first finished object. So these were knit up on a US size 3 needle, and I knit these on my Chiaogu, it was a Chiaogu red lace needle. But yeah, really like the way these turned out, and they are super comfy. So finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 are my cowl socks from the Just Love Socks cowl that I had going on from February 28th to 27th, my birthday, to March 28th, my husband's birthday. And this is my finished pair. It's a beautiful lace sock, and have not blocked these, but and I usually don't block socks, but I really liked this knit. It was a lot of fun, and when I get into WIPS, you'll see another sock that I'm knitting from the same designer, Barbara Noelko of Knitting I Love. But this was a really fun knit. I knit these in a Lolo Did It. This is Paris City of Love is the colorway, and I knit these on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle, and I did this on I did it magic loop, and I used my Lichen needles for this. But yes, very fun knit. I would encourage anyone that's looking for a fun knit, easy to memorize pattern repeat to check these out on her Ravelry page for patterns. I think she also she does. I think her patterns are also on Love Crafts, and she has her own website, so you don't have to go to Ravelry, but really, really fun knit. And thank you to all of you that participated in the CAL. It was my first CAL. I'm super excited, and I hope to do plenty more. So yeah, my 2 finished objects. So we're now going to go into some WIPs. And my first WIP, I will just show you, is I put a colorwork sock on the needles, also by Knitting I Love, and Barbara Noelko of Knitting I Love. And these are her March socks. And I knew that I wouldn't finish these in March, but I wanted to cast them on, and I just barely made it, but I cast these on March 31st at 10 p.m. my time. I live in Colorado. And I'm really liking it. It almost looks like an Easter egg just because of the colors, but it's a really nice colorwork sock. And I'm just using this is all stash yarn. So I'm using a stash yarn skein from my knit crate that I used to be a subscriber to. They're no longer in business. And then the pink is a Lolo Did It that I actually got for a knit along like it's been like 4 or 5 years ago. And I didn't end up joining the CAL after I had ordered the kit. And so I had these in my stash. So this is all stash yarn. But it's a really, really nice colorwork sock pattern, and easy. It's not difficult at all. I'll pop a picture in of the pattern. And yeah, I would encourage you to go over and look at her patterns, and join me with this one if you'd like. I am going to do another knit along, just putting it out there. It will probably be socks. Might be a garment, but I think it's going to be socks, and it will probably be a color. It's either going to be a colorwork or it's going to be a cable pattern. So just food for thought. If you are thinking about joining a CAL, you want to, do something with other knitters and, be able to talk about it and do all that, just keep that in mind, that I will be probably on the next podcast, I will announce another sock knit along. And then, like I said, I will do a garment knit along at some point. So my first WIP, colorwork sock. My next WIP is one that I showed, I did show it in episode 17, and it's the warm-up sweater by Espace Tricot, and I'm making a little bit of progress on that, so really excited. I love the way it's knitting up. Of course, it's in my favorite color, purple, and I'm just finishing up some repeats. I'm getting ready to switch, because I'm getting ready to switch it to a larger cable. This is a small cable, a 16-inch cable I have it on right now. I was doing the neck and then doing some repeats. Increases, I guess, not repeats, increases. But really like this. This yarn is just knitting up beautiful. I really like the way it's knitting up. And yeah, super duper excited about this. So can't wait to share more, but like I said, I will be transferring this over today actually to a larger cable. So the next podcast, hopefully I will have a lot done and I'll be able to share that with you. So, and I'm not going to take this one off of my girl Mona, but that is my After the Rain. I'll try and I am done with one sleeve. And I just picked up for the other one. So I didn't make the deadline for the bougie sweatshirt CAL that Casey of Young Folk Knits was hosting, but I am very close. I kind of got stuck on that sleeve island. I guess it's a thing. I really didn't think it was a thing, but it's a thing. And I will hopefully get through that next sleeve here in the next week or so, and I will have that as a finished, hopefully I'll be wearing it as a finished object in the next podcast. Although we are going into some warmer weather, it's still pretty cool here in Colorado. I went out this morning and did a really lovely walk, and it was pretty cold. So, and we had snow on Tuesday maybe? Tuesday we had snow. Not a lot, but we did, it covered the ground. So spring is trying really hard, but it's just not quite here yet. So, but hopefully I'll get to wear my After the Rain sweater for just a little bit before the really warm weather sets in and I'm unable to do that. So, sorry, take a sip of my water there. And then my next work in progress is a cotton t-shirt, and this is just the Back to Basics tee. It's I want to say it's a Yarnspirations pattern or Lion's brand. Is it Lion's brand? It's a Lion's brand pattern. It's a free pattern over on their website or on Ravelry, and it's just a plain basic cotton t-shirt. I will pop in a picture, and I know that I talked about this on a podcast long time ago because this is a very old WIP, and I'm trying to bring out old WIPs and finish them. And the thing with this tee, it is just a basic tee pattern, but it's done in pieces. So I am really doing this. This is about learning a skill, and that's, piecing a garment together, which I can't say that I'm thrilled about doing, but I want to at least be able to do it. So, and I'm also using this basic tee pattern to be able to modify. So let me just show it to you. You're probably all wondering, like, where is it? So this is, I had started it and put it away and hadn't pulled it back out. So I'm just getting started on the front. This is the front panel. And as I said, it's done in pieces. And this is actually the back, I'm sorry. This is done in pieces. And I am going to use this basic pattern to modify it and make the tee, tailor it to me. So I'm going to add some stripes. It's just plain color. I think on Ravelry, if you look, people have done different things, but I'm going to add some color to this one. And then I'm going to put another one on the needles once I'm pretty much done with this one. And I think I'm going to try a cable pattern. Either a cable down this one side or a cable across the top. But let me know what you think about that. A cable in a t-shirt. I think it would look great. I've actually, in some of the patterns that I've talked about in previous episodes, I talked about having texture, and I really am eager to see about putting some texture into this basic tee pattern. So for this one, like I said, I'm going to do stripes, and I'm going to use, this color. I'm using 24/7 cotton. This is a Lion's brand yarn, but I'm going to put a stripe with this color that I really, really like. And I don't know if I'm going to do one big stripe across the front. I don't think I'm going to put it on the back since this is done in pieces. I think I'm just going to put one big stripe across the front, or I will put a couple of thin stripes. So again, tell me what you think about that. And if you've done it, how hard was it? But this is, let's try to see if it's, I think the colors, it's called Beats. The color is called Beats, and it is very, that's very fitting. So really like that color. But yeah, this is a 100% mercerized cotton, and I've knit dishcloths out of this cotton, and I really like it. It's soft. It's not super duper soft, but it's soft, and it's going to make for a really nice tee. But yeah, I'm really excited to get this going and just tailor it to me. So the numbers I think will work out for the fit, and I'm kind of using that as people have used the flax. The flax is kind of just a basic sweater it's a basic sweater that people tailor to whatever they like. And I'm going to kind of try to do this I'm going to try to experiment with this pattern to see if I can do the same thing and just kind of tailor it to my likings with adding color and texture. And texture, I think, will be the cables or twists of some sort. So I am going to work on that. And that will, I have something to share about that towards the end of the podcast. So, but yeah, so that's my basic tee by Lion's brand. Okay. And I think that is it for WIPS. I do have, like I said, a lot of other WIPS, but these are the ones I've actively been working on. So yeah, we will see what I get done on these over the next couple of weeks. So let's move into the winners from the Cal. So over on Ravelry, our winner is Yarn It Heidi. Congratulations, Heidi. And Heidi has a podcast called Yarn It Heidi. So if you haven't seen her podcast, go over and check her out. She has a great little podcast, and she's got lots of great knits that she shares. And so yeah, check her out if you get a chance. And then the winner over on Instagram is Lucky Riley, who's Emily, I believe, and you are my winner over on Instagram. So get in touch with me, both of you, and Emily, you will be able to pick a pattern of your choice from Knitting I Love over on Ravelry, or you can go to her website, Barbara Noelko, and then just let me know, and I'll reach out to her, and she will put that into your. I know you're over on Ravelry, so she can add that to your Ravelry library. And then Heidi, just reach out to me either via email, or you can private message me over on Instagram with your information, and I will be getting you out your prize. So congratulations, ladies, and thank you so much for joining me on the Cal. And I hope that you join many other Cals that we have over here at Yo Yarn Girl. So there we go. All right, so future knitting. Okay, so bringing you some additional vests to think about knitting. And the first one is going to be the Ura U, I believe is how you pronounce that. It's a fingering weight vest that's has a couple of ways that you can knit that. It has a huge turtleneck possibility, or you can omit that and just knit it with just a regular collar. It's half fisherman's rib, and as I said, it's fingering weight knit top down, and it is by a Japanese designer, Natsuko Lida, I believe is how she pronounces her name, and I will pop a picture in. It's just a really nice looking vest, and it's a great layering piece, or wearing it, you know, again, as layered, but with that big collar. I don't think I would knit it with the big turtleneck collar, but it looks fabulous either way. But it's a finger weight version. It's a finger weight option for a vest. Very nice vest. So check that out if you're interested in a vest of that nature. The next vest is Nancy's vest. It's a sport weight vest. It's knit bottom up in one piece, and there's finishings at the shoulders. That's by Carol Sunday, and I'll pop a picture in. But again, another great layering piece for a vest, and it's sport weight, so it's going to be of a little bit lighter nature, which would be great for the spring, and then again for the fall for a nice layering piece. The next vest is the Miel vest. It's a worsted weight. It can be worn snapped, or you can wear it open. And again, another great piece to layer. It just looks fabulous with just a casual pair of pants, and then a top or a t-shirt underneath. So again, another nice vest, and this is a worsted weight. So probably you could, depending on where you live, you could do it for the spring, but again, it would be a great piece for the fall and winter as a worsted weight vest. The next one is the Omena vest. It's also a worsted weight. It's knit in one piece. There is a option for one color, or there's an option for a gradient. It's really good. It almost looks like a shrug, and I'll pop in a couple of pictures just so you can see it. Very, very cute construction. It's seamless, and the armholes are self-finishing. So all you have to do once you've done that is just weave in ends on the armholes. There's nothing that you're picking up or doing anything like that. That I love. And the way it works, for me, this is something you could just kind of throw on. It gives you just that extra little, I don't know, kind of like a security blanket to me. I would think of it that way, but I mean, that's not what it is. but super cute. And just throw on with some jeans, some Chelsea boots. I mean, super duper cute. So check that one out. And that's also a worsted weight. It's by Jill Zielinski, and just a really cute, nice added piece to your wardrobe to throw on top of a shirt. Little long sleeve t-shirt would be cute to do that with in the spring. I think that would make for a really cute piece in your wardrobe. So, and the next one is called the Water Rock Vest. This is a more of a cropped vest top because you have the option of doing this as a top. And if you do it in a lighter weight fabric, like it had been knit up, it was a suggested yarn is Knit Picks Cotton, and it gives you a lighter weight to wear into the spring and possibly the summer with this one. I would not do it cropped. I would definitely probably add a little bit of length, but it has a little bit of texture. And so as a layering piece, you can do 2 inches of positive ease. If you're going to wear it as a top, you would want to probably have almost 1 to 2 inches of negative ease if you're going to wear it as a top. So that's a great versatile vest that you could wear. You could knit a couple of those, and you could knit it in a like a wool DK, or you can do for the summer, spring in a cotton DK. But you can have one that you use as a layering piece and one that you use just as a top in the summer. So that makes for a great versatile piece, and just a great adage to your wardrobe. So take a look at that one, because that one also grabbed my eye when I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. So take a look at that. And then the last one that I have to add to the list of vests that I really think make a great addition to your wardrobe is called the Shoreline Vest. Also a DK weight vest. And Knit Picks DK Swish was one of the recommended yarns for this one. And it has 0 to 2 inches of positive ease. It's a great little vest. It's got a couple of buttons at the top here. And again, would make just a really nice staple in your wardrobe to add as a layering piece. And again, I'll pop a picture in. But those are just some additional vests that I looked at that I thought, wow, I want to share that with everybody. Some things that I would remind you when you're knitting vests is you want to make sure that you are getting a really good measurement for your vest. So measure your bust line. Don't just go by a bra size and feel that that's going to get you a great fit, because it won't. And you really should do that even with your sweaters. You want to make sure that you are measuring your bust line before you're choosing a size. And then make sure that you're doing a gauge swatch. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a person that did swatches before. I didn't do a gauge swatch. I kind of just picked my shirt size and I was like, okay, that's the size I'm going to look at on the pattern. And I've been pretty lucky, but I did have one sweater that I ended up frogging, and I actually featured on one of my podcasts. And it wasn't, I didn't frog it because of the fit. I had it was color work and I had some mistakes in it, but in trying it on, it would not have been the best fitting sweater, and I didn't gauge swatch. So if you're gonna buy yarn, and especially if you're buying hand-dyed yarn, that's an investment. So, you wanna be able to wear that garment after you've knit it up. It's best to take the time and do the gauge swatch. I know that's not the fun part of the knitting of the project, and that's how I am. I just want to get into it and get the thing on the needles and off the needles so that I can wear it. But in order to be able to wear it and enjoy it, we probably want to do a gauge swatch. And then the other thing is to block it. I don't block socks as a rule. Sometimes I will, I probably will block the lace socks just because I want to see if that opens it up or blooms it a little bit. But you should block your sweaters and vests and garments should be blocked. I think it gives you a better fit, and you have the opportunity, if it's a little bit snug, you can maybe with blocking can open that up. So really think about blocking your finished garments as well. So just some tips on that. So I wanted to share a book that I've had on my shelf for a while, and it's a it's a stitch dictionary, so to speak. And I said when I showed you my WIP, which is the basic tee, that I want to use that pattern and just build upon it with different things, whether it's using different colored yarns for stripes, but I really want to also experiment with some cables or twisted stitches or things like that. And this, like I said, I've had this book on my shelf for a while, and I've read, I've gone through it a couple of times, but I'm going to start experimenting, I think, with that basic T pattern and some stitches. So I have this book, which is a fabulous book, and it's 250 Japanese knitting stitches. I got this off of, I think I got this on Amazon, so I will link it below. If I can go back and get that link, I will link that below. But it's got all kinds of just neat patterns in here. I'll just kind of show that real quick. I'm not going to show any of the stuff, but I would like to kind of experiment with this. So I'm going to just start kind of knitting up some fabric and see how it looks. And if I like it, I might go ahead and knit a full T in one of these patterns. And obviously I will share, but what I think I'm gonna do over the next few podcasts, you will see me cast something on. I will, pick out one of these stitches, and you will get to see over time how that ends up, and I will share that with you, and I will go through all the steps as I'm working through it, just so that you are able to see that. So be looking out for that. I'm super excited about this. Like I said, I've had this on my shelf for a while, and I just haven't done anything with it. And I started thinking, I want to go through that book again. And when I picked this WIP up, I thought, it's a plain basic tee, which is great. But what if I had some texture in that tee, or I added some color, which is why I got the that yarn to add a stripe in there, just to make it interesting. So I'm going to try that over the next few weeks. So I will share it when I cast it on. And then I will continue to share its progress so that you can all be a part of that. So be looking for that. I'm really excited. And if you have any suggestions, or if you have used this book for any of the patterns out of it, let me know. Comment below and let me know if you've used that, because like I said, I'm really excited to use this and just see where it takes me, what happens. So I'm not a pattern writer or anything like that, and I'm not looking to necessarily write up a pattern, but I definitely will share my progress and just how this works with knitting up a pattern, some texture in a basic t-shirt. So, and I know people use Stitch dictionaries with the the flax sweater from Tin Can Knits. That's really what that is. It's numbers, and it's a recipe. It's not a recipe, but it is a pattern. But people have used that as a base to build upon, and so that's kind of what I want to do with this basic tee, is use that as a base to build upon, and have some texture to a t-shirt that hopefully I will be able to wear this summer. So spring and summer. So I think that is it for the knitting portion of this. I do have some acquisitions and then a little bit of life chatter. So if you were just here for the knitting and the sharing of some patterns, this is where you probably want to jump out, but feel free to stick around. And I'm going to share my acquisitions that I have with you. So. I am not buying a ton of yarn, but obviously there are things that grab me, and there's things that I want to do that I did need yarn for, either to add to what I have in my stash, or that I was just starting a project. So I did talk about in episode 17, I talked about the Imsworth vest, which is a vest by Isabel Kramer, and I had said that I had ordered some yarn. I did not have it when I filmed that episode, but it came like the very next day, and I had ordered the sport weight lichen and lace, and so this is my yarn. It came pretty quickly, actually. It comes from Canada, and it has this beautiful, came with this beautiful stitch marker, or progress keeper, I guess. Yeah, progress keeper, but very cute. It's a heart. So really like this color. And I'm looking forward to getting this on my needles. So it's a little rustic. It's a rustic sport, but it's a little rustic. But I'm really anxious to see how it knits up. And obviously, when I get that on the needles, I will be sharing that. So hopefully, in my next podcast, I will have cast that on, and I will be able to share that with all of you. So that's my first acquisition. Share with all of you is my Lichen and lace yarn. And then my next acquisition is a local to me dyer. I don't know how I follow them over on Instagram. Sorry for the I'm going to take it out of the bag. I'm sorry. But local to me dyer, and I'm over on Instagram. I follow them over on Instagram, and I guess I never realized it, but it's Huck and Ray, and she had a shop update, so I ordered something from her, what she calls her serendipity skein, which I think is a skein that maybe she doesn't repeat because she just kind of threw in dyes, but it's called Wisteria, and it's this beautiful purple. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see if we can get it to focus. There we go. But I love this, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. I thought about socks, but I don't know if I want to use socks. And then I am going to go ahead and do a Caitlin Hunter. It's the Schweig, I guess you pronounce it. I wrote it down because somebody's another podcaster is knitting this, and the pronunciation is different. So, but I'm gonna put one on the needles, as I think I said before when everyone was doing the Sophie scarf and I was not there, and then they were doing the Lento, which I do plan on putting on the needles. I always am late to the party, so I have had that pattern in my library forever. It was one of my first patterns that I purchased, actually, was the Schweig, and I have not knit it. And I think because when I did purchase that pattern, I was still fairly new to knitting, and don't even know why I like, well, it's an attractive sweater. So I purchased the pattern and had no clue how to go about knitting it. So I just didn't bother to put it on the needles. And it sat there and sat there and sat there. And then I happened to be watching a podcast, and I'll have to, if I can remember, I'll put the podcast across the screen. But she talked about knitting it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got that pattern, and I've got stuff in my stash for it. So I did and I didn't. I did order some yarn for the body, but for the lace portion of that pattern, and I'll pop a picture of the pattern in just for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with it, I had deep stash for that. So actually, I will share the yarn I'm going to use. So this I ordered, and it's Cascade Heritage. And let's see if there is a colorway or if it's just a number. I think this is just a number. It's color number 5738, but it's this kind of plummy pinkish color. Very nice color. Like that a lot. And then for the lace part of the yoke, with the yoke is lace. Oops, there goes my ball of yarn across the floor. I am going to use this. It's Less Travel yarn, and the colorway is Forest Floor, and it's a deep, deep plum, and oh my goodness, love, love, love that, with some greens and just some browns. But that will be, the lace yoke will be done in this color, and then the body will be done in that color. really like this. I can't wait to get this on the needles either. So that's some future knitting that will be coming. And that's the yarn for it. So really excited about that. And I think that is it even for my acquisitions. Once again, we've got needles and I've got Ruby and Rose's yarn in the shop. So head over to the shop, and that is yoyarngirl.myshopify.com, and grab some needles or grab some bag or some yarn. But there, we still have stock in the shop, so super excited about that. But yeah, go over and grab something, check it out. We have some accessories, and of course we are carrying the Lantern Moon needles, which I'm super thrilled about because I love those needles. And I'm also thinking about carrying the Lantern Moon Tunisian crochet needles. So if you are interested in those, please comment below, because I'd love to put them in the shop, but I don't want to put them there if there's not a need for them. But if you are interested in the Lantern Moon Tunisian crochet needles, let me know, and it's an item that I definitely will carry. We do have the Lantern Moon just regular crochet hooks in the shop. So again, let me know, comment below, and that's something that I would be happy to put in the shop. So go check it out. And can't wait till we meet up again for another podcast. So until then, happy making.